it be? With me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to the continued coverage of Wildcard Weekend here on the Louie T Network. Fascinating game transpired tonight as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers took care of business 31-23 over the Washington football team. It was a gutsy performance by the Washington football team, but they asked for Tom Brady. They got the GOAT, and he delivered tonight. Damn near 400 yards passing. And, the numbers don't look all that great from a completion percentage standpoint, but you factor in about 5 drops or so, and he's over 400, and that completion percentage looks a lot better, and there may be more damage done in this football game than just the 31 points. Really disappointing effort from Washington's defense, and got to credit that Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive line. That was fantastic tonight, protecting Brady, and their receivers did what we expected them to do, which is if Brady gets time, shred this defense, and that's exactly what happened. Got a lot of super chats, so we'll jump right into those immediately. And we start with I Got Munson 1. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. I Got Munson 1 writes, I know Taylor did you proud tonight repping Old Dominion. In it to the end. Proud of the fellas tonight. A lot to build on. Absolutely. I knew he was capable of this. I didn't know if he was going to go out and play well or not, but I knew he was capable of this. And I told you guys last week, I told you guys after week 16, if he had to play, I was comfortable. I felt good about it. I didn't know he was going to play this well. I'd be sitting here, I'd be lying to you if I thought he told you I thought he was going to play this well. But he did, and he was outstanding tonight. A Typical Brother. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. A Typical Brother writes, what up, Lou? No shame in losing to Brady in the playoffs. Cam Sims looked good. Even embarrassed Fuller, Evans embarrassed Fuller the whole game. The O-line could have played better, and Heineke looked good. Thoughts? Cam Sims looked really good. He had a drop, though, that he should have caught early in the game, and we needed to start fast, and that was an opportunity to start fast, and you got to help your quarterback out, and he dropped that football, so I can't let that one go. As far as Evans embarrassing Fuller, Fuller hasn't played really well down the stretch of this season, if you want to be honest. Starting with that Steelers game, I thought he's struggled. Really, the Detroit game, I thought he struggled since then. And he struggled tonight. And Evans is a hell of a receiver. I mean, what are you going to say? And as far as the offensive line, I thought the offensive line was fine tonight. I don't have any issues with what they did tonight at all. The Bucs sent a ton of blitzes. I thought they picked them up, and Heineke did a great job of extending when he needed to. I don't have any issues with the offensive line at all. Keith Smith, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Keith Smith writes, I am happy as F. We found our quarterback, and a season I predicted to go 5-11 ended with a playoff game at home. Thanks, Louie. You're my MVP this year. I'm all for number 4. I don't know if you can crown him yet, but I can tell you he just made things a lot more interesting this offseason. That is for sure. Jordan liked the GOAT. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. And you're the real MVP. And people like you, Keith Smith. So thank you for the super chat. Jordan like the GOAT. Greatly appreciate you for the super chat and wipes. 4 reminds me of Mayfield. Should definitely get a chance to start next year. We'll see. We'll see. He's way more athletically gifted than Baker Mayfield. I can tell you that much. Craig Smith. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Craig Smith writes, why didn't you tell me y'all signed John Moxon? LOL. Heineke can ball. Hey, get out of here with your varsity blues, man. Russell Keaton. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Russell writes, man, this was a great season. I appreciate my team. I appreciate y'all as brothers and sisters, man. And Louie, I appreciate the great coverage. Hashtag HTTR. Absolutely. This was a fun season. This game was fun. I enjoyed this from start to finish. The defense didn't play as well as we would have hoped. But this is the kind of defense that we had gotten this season when we played against better teams, when we played against Matthew Stafford. This is the kind of defensive performance that we got really in that first half. So I'm not shocked by what happened tonight. I just thought we could get more pressure, and we did not. But I couldn't be more proud of the fellas. I told you we weren't going to get our asses kicked. They did exactly what I thought they were going to do, which is fight to the end and make this competitive. The Cubone. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. The Cubone writes, drinking Ovaltine again for your boys. They played hard. I'm excited to see where this team heads next season. Hashtag Louie T Live. I am as well. And they got some decisions to make this offseason. Cam Sims is going to be a free agent. Taylor Heineke, obviously, going to be a free agent. Kyle Allen going to be a free agent. Brandon Sheriff going to be a free agent. A lot of decisions to make for this organization. We'll see what they decide to do. Joshua Farish, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Joshua writes, Taylor didn't look too bad, especially when he was moving in the pocket. Still think we should draft a quarterback to have a legitimate QB competition next year. I don't think he's going to stop them from doing whatever it is they thought they were going to do, whether it's trade for a veteran or draft a young guy. I still think they're going to have that ball in motion, but he does give them something to think about. If nothing else, he gives them a reason to feel like, hey, this guy should be back, if nothing else, for a backup situation. Chris Zacharias, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Chris writes, great season. HTTWFT will be back. It feels like this is the beginning. It does. Feels like we'll be back. But we'll see what happens. Barrett Downing, my man BD, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. BD writes, proud of these guys. No quit in them. And it hasn't been all season. And I told you the kind of effort we were going to get tonight. I told you, there hasn't been any quit in these guys whatsoever all season long. We've been down big. We weren't down huge in this game, but it was 18-7. We were in the danger zone, and they responded. They responded after halftime. You would like Taylor not to put a Dwayne Haskins special on the menu on 3rd and 4 with Logan Thomas wide open over the middle of the field for the first down and throw a 560-mile-an-hour fastball. But outside of that, I mean, these guys responded, man. I like you said, no quitting them. Proud of these boys. And I knew I would be at the end of the game. Captain Wizard, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Captain Wizard writes, man, I'm proud of these boys. If Cam Sims would have caught that wide open pass, this game would have been much different. We'll be back. HTTFT. Again, that hurt early in the game because, you're looking to build on some momentum. Look, the defense holds Brady to a field goal on that opening possession, and you got to respond. And if he catches that football, we're going to get something out of that drive, whether it's a field goal, possibly a touchdown. You got to catch that football. And he didn't catch the ball, and that one hurt. It hurt. He made up for it the remainder of the game by catching just about everything that came his way, but that was a big drop. That was a big one. Keith Smith, thank you for doubling up. Hopefully I didn't just lose your super chat, and I didn't. Here it is. Thank you for doubling up. Double up. Keith Smith writes, we can hold off on drafting a QB all for number 4, HTTW. I'm just telling you right now, I don't know if the staff is going to feel that way. It's a very small sample size. Again, you're essentially talking about a game and a quarter of Taylor Heineke essentially this season. And I don't know if that's enough to move you away from drafting a guy. Now, if none of the guys you like are there, maybe you go in a different direction. But I don't know if that stops you from drafting someone. Silver V, thank you for the super chat. My man Silver Villains writes, legends are born in the playoff, and Chase Young let y'all down. Big props to Payne, but I never thought it would be the defense coming up short, shaking my damn head. I'm really disappointed in the defense. I knew this kind of effort could come. You're playing against the best, and they got talent everywhere. And this was the fear. If you don't get pressure on Brady, this is what could happen. We didn't get pressure on Brady. This is what we expected if there was no pressure. And so really disappointed in not getting to Brady more often. I didn't think they did enough to try to get to Brady. I didn't see enough twists and stunts in different ways to try to manufacture pressure on the inside. I thought they just said, Chase, go after it one-on-one, and Montez, you do the same, and Ryan Kerrigan and all these guys, y'all just try to go after it one-on-one, and they didn't win enough matchups one-on-one. They didn't. And in the secondary, they weren't great either. So, Atypical Brother, thank you for doubling up. Double up. My man, Atypical Brother writes, Lou, I'm convinced that if Heineke played all 16 games for us, we would have won 10 games. Detroit, the Giants, at least one game. Panthers, all dubs. Again, hard to say. That's revisionist history. You don't know how he would have played in those games. I'd like to think that you're right. We probably would have won 3 out of 4 of those games, if not all 4 of those games. But that's nor here nor there. The bottom line is we didn't. He didn't play in those games. We didn't win those games. And this is where we are right now. And again, that was refreshing to watch a guy move around, extend plays. It made me feel like when Kyle Allen was in there all over again, except he was a lot more athletically gifted than Kyle Allen was tonight. And it was outstanding. It was fun to watch, and really proud of the fellas. Got another one here from Metaphor. Thank you for the super chat, Metaphor. Greatly appreciate you. Metaphor writes, should be proudly wearing white, Lou. What a game. Dressed in all black like the Omen. You know what time it is. We don't change things around here. It's tradition We stick with tradition. The fellas fought hard, though. They did, and there's no reason to be ashamed, no reason to hang your head. We weren't supposed to be here. It was house money. And the boys went out and fought and did what I expected them to do. They gave us a chance, and I thought the officials didn't do us any favors. That's for damn sure tonight. I'm not one of those guys to blame the officials. They hurt us, too. They hurt us bad tonight. Home Sports, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Home Sports writes, let me apologize for acting a fool in the MOBB. Got drunk. Let years of abuse from this team get the best of me. It's all good, man. That said, horrible performance by the defense made it too easy. I'm really disappointed in the defense. When it's all said and done, it's Brady, it's Antonio Brown, it's Chris Godwin, it's Mike Evans, it's Cameron Brate, it's Rob Gronkowski, it's Leonard Fournette, it's Scotty Miller. It's a hell of a football team with a bunch of weapons. But the key was to get to Brady so that those weapons that I just mentioned didn't come into play. And we didn't do that. So, look, we're all scarred by this organization over the last 20 years. You don't have to apologize for anything. Okay. Santiago Trudell, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Santiago Trudell writes, Taylor looked like a white Russell Wilson to me. There was a little bit of that. You know, he's got the same stature, same size, not as thick as Russ, but, you know, right around that 6 feet, you know, plateau, right around where Russ is. Russ is more like 5'10", 5'11", but similar moves, was able to, you know, elude rushers, did a really good job of having feel of where guys were. I could see that. Could definitely see that. Carlton Pagano Jackson, my man CPJ, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. CPJ writes, I love Taylor. What a warrior. We got to sign him to compete for the starting position. Ready for next season. # Mob Squad. You could tell that he knew this playbook in and out. He was very comfortable. You saw what Bobby Wilder, his coach at ODU, said. First 5-read quarterback he's ever seen or ever worked with, and you saw it tonight. This guy did a hell of a job of reading the field. And more times than not, he went to the right place with the football. And he was decisive. He was outstanding, man. Got way more than I bargained for tonight with Taylor. I knew what he could do. I just didn't know we were going to get this kind of performance. Again, he gave us every chance to win this football game. But at the end of the day, we're a 23-point team. What did I tell you? If they score more than 23, we're going to lose this game. How many points did we score? 23 points. We couldn't allow them to score more than 23 or we weren't going to win this game. Clumsy Jedi 26. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Clumsy Jedi writes, I'm excited to see what's next for this team, as am I and every other fan out there after this performance. Remember Gary Clark, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, who writes, I'm so proud of our team. We got to re-sign Heineke. I think we may have something. I think he'll be back. I think at worst he'll be back. Will he be the starter? Will they forego drafting a guy or making any real big moves in the offseason at the quarterback position because of this performance? I don't believe that to be the case, but we'll see what they decide to do. Again, what he has effectively done is he's given them something to think about. That's it. That's all he has assured himself of, is an opportunity in this league. This guy was taking finals just a month and a half ago and probably thought his NFL career was over. And now he's earned himself a spot in this league for the next 10 years if he wants it. Even if it's just as a backup, he's not going anywhere. Daily Grind, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, who writes, all we needed was a QB. Alex will coach and Heineke is the future. Yes, my favorite beverage. He made Haskins look so bad, so bad, so bad. Yeah, he did. He did. And I don't think Alex is going to coach, but he was outstanding. He was outstanding. Anthony Barnwell, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Anthony Barnwell writes, this is why you don't talk smack as a rookie in the NFL. Brady has more years of experience in playoff wins than Chase Young has been alive. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I told you when he did it, I wish he wouldn't have done it, but he did it, so we got to ride. And unfortunately, Chase didn't back it up, and this defense didn't back it up. And he didn't say anything wrong per se. It was unnecessary. It's not like he said, we know we can beat Tom Brady. He's not as good as he once was. He didn't say anything crazy out of his mouth. But You don't need to stir the pot. He didn't need to poke the bear. All of that was unnecessary. At the end of the day, that's not why Brady carved us up. He was going to carve us up anyway if we came with that weak-ass defensive performance. And we did, and he did. Brendan McCloskey, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Brendan McCloskey writes, can't play the refs and Brady. Either way, I'm proud of our boys tonight for the effort. They didn't quit. Yeah, I thought the refs were and look, the refs weren't terrible. I just thought they hurt us. On the no call, on the pass interference when Carlton Davis got there early, I thought they hurt us on the phantom Brandon Sheriff holding penalty. That would have been a big run for a first down and move the sticks. That killed the possession too. Like, you can't do those things to us and expect us to win against a team that's better than us. You can't hurt us that way, you know. So there were some really impactful calls that I thought the officials really hurt us on in this football game. And that ball hit that Buccaneers defender. That ball hit him. That's on Ron Rivera. That's not on the officials. That's on Ron Rivera. He needed to challenge that. Had a whole timeout and commercial break to be able to look at that enough to see that thing hit his pouch. They should have challenged that. That would have been our football. Keelan Meekins. Thank you for the super chat. Kaylin Meekins, who writes, everybody that succeeds, Alex gets a ring. That's not true. Colin Kaepernick never run a ring. Anthony Barnwell, thank you for that super chat and doubling up. Double up. Anthony Barnwell, greatly appreciate you. Who writes, despite my last message, great to finally see a true rebuild from this organization. Looking forward to the 2021 season. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And you know what? This wasn't even a real rebuild. It was just a really good job of finding parts on the run. They kind of added to what we already had here. They did a really good job of finding other foundational pieces that we feel like can ride moving forward, like a Logan Thomas, like a J.D. McKissick, maybe even a Ronald Darby potentially. I thought they did a really good job. Cornelius Lucas was outstanding again tonight. I thought they did a really good job of finding these diamonds in the rough, Hell, even Taylor Heineke. I mean, got to give them credit for scooping him up as well. J Mart, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. J Mart writes, this one hurts. Would have rather been blown out. Damn. Nah, I didn't want any parts of a blowout. This team has fought all year and have been in ball games. We haven't been blown out not a single time. The one game that felt like an ass whooping, a true ass whooping, was the Rams game. Outside of that, this team's fought and hasn't been beat up in any game this season. And I didn't want this to be any different. And with all the disrespect that came our way, I wanted us to fight, and we fought to the bitter end. And I'm so disappointed in the defense. They never gave us a chance in this game, really, a true chance. They never got the stops when we needed them to get stops. Every time we scored, outside of the field goal after the half, when it was 18-10, and they did get a stop, they got a 3 and out. Outside of that, it felt like they never got the stops when we needed them to get the stops. It was 18-16. And they let Brady and company go right down the field and get another field goal, make it 21-16. Then Daron Payne forced the fumble that kept it at 21-16 because it felt like they were going for a touchdown there. That was huge. And you would like to see the offense go and do something after that. They weren't able to. But even still, keep stopping them. We couldn't do it. And even after you get it to 28-23 and you need a stop, 4 minutes and some change left, get a stop. They give it 3 plays and they're already within chip shot field goal range. So it just wasn't a good night for the defense. Rage Gaming, thank you for the super chat. Rage Gaming, who writes, if you consider Taylor Heineke to compete next year for the job, do you factor in the one-hit/injury concern? That's part of the problem with Heineke throughout his career, is that he's been prone to injury. He's not a big guy. He's right around 6 feet, right around 200 pounds. He's not a big guy. He got hurt the first time he got an opportunity to start in Carolina. He got hurt. He got hurt again tonight. So that's something you have to factor in. As much as I like what he did tonight, you got to factor in that this guy hasn't been able to stay healthy throughout his NFL career. So that is something to consider. Absolutely. I think you would be remiss if you did not consider that a big deal because it is. Got to stay healthy in this league. Let's see. Got another super chat. This one is from Andrew Kim. Thank you, AK, for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My man AK writes, it was a better season than I ever expected. Look forward to next season. Absolutely. I mean, I couldn't have imagined 7-9 getting us a NFC East championship and a home playoff game. Never would have thought. Never would have thought. William Edwards, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. William Edwards writes, Lou, in the MLBB, you told me we shouldn't go for too early. Can you explain why? I'm so proud of the team. Looking forward to this offseason, though. In the first half, when we were down and it was 15-7, and that's when you asked, should we go for two when we scored? No, you don't chase points in the first half. It would have been 15-14 had we ever scored with the score at that point, what it was. You know, and you're down 8, but you don't go chasing points at that time of the game because there's so many more possessions. So you don't want to go chasing points. You don't get it. And now, and here's the reason why. So let's say Tampa Bay, you kick the extra point, right? Let's say Tampa Bay kicks 2 field goals and they go up 21-14 because you kicked the extra point. Now a touchdown and an extra point ties the game. But if you go chasing points, trying to tie them up early in the game in the first half, when there's still 5, 6, 7 possessions left in the game, and you don't get it, which we've been terrible on 2-point conversions this season. We didn't convert a single one. I think we were 0 of 6 this season on 2-point conversions, including the Giants game and tonight. And you don't get it. And so it's 15-13. Then they kick 2 field goals. Now it's 21-13. Now you put yourself in a position where you have to go for 2 just to tie the game. You see the difference there? When you got a bunch of possessions left, you don't do it. In the second half, it was different because it was 18-10. We scored the touchdown. You don't know how many more possessions you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to score any more points. If they're going to score any more points, you're in the second half. You go ahead and you go for 2 to tie the game just in case that score holds up and we get late into the fourth quarter and it's tied. You don't want to be in a situation where it's 18-17 and you don't score and they don't score again and you lose the game by 1. So that's the difference there. When you've got a bunch of possessions left like we did in the first half, you don't go for it. When you get to the second half and we were midway through the third, maybe late stages of the third, when we were able to cut it to 2 with a chance to tie it up, you go for the 2-point conversion there. Jay Hunter Lee, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jay Hunter Lee writes, I don't see Alex Smith going anywhere. I think he's done and should probably be in our Ring of Fame. I don't know about that. I don't think if he's not playing here, he's done. But I don't think he should be in our Ring of Fame. I really don't. Let's see. Jesse Bean, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jesse Bean writes, hey, Lou, thanks for the season, man. I speak for all of us when I say we greatly appreciate you. Likewise, man, I really do appreciate all of you guys out there as well. Thank you guys for the season. And it's not done. It never stops here on the Louie T Network. We jump straight into, we're going to continue to cover the rest of the playoffs, but we jump right into the draft now. It doesn't stop here. Fat American, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Fat American writes, all right, now we can start off-season talk. Keep Heineke and Allen next season. Focus on left tackle, left guard, please. Middle linebacker as well. Also need some beef on the D line. Yeah, plenty of time to talk about all that stuff, but I thought the offensive line held up really well this season. And you see, I'm not a pro football focus guy. I can't stand pro football focus. A lot of people swear by them, and that's fine. But you saw the pro football focus numbers. Even though I don't care anything about that, my eyes tell me that the offensive line has been really good this season. So that's how I feel about the O-line. But we'll see what they decide to do. Derek Only, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you, Derek, who writes, hey, Lou, I'm proud of my boys. They fought hard. On to the next. Hashtag HTTRWFT. First pick should be best player available. Don't necessarily need a quarterback. They're going to bring in a vet. Hey, what the hell is the name of the little thing? What the hell is the name of the little thing you buy for the house? The Google thing? Hey, Google! Pause that! What are you doing? The hell is Google doing? Anyway, with the first pick, best player available, which is what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? You don't go in, searching for needs. Don't necessarily need a quarterback. They're going to bring in a vet. Keep up the good work. Love your show. We'll see what they decide to do. It wouldn't shock me if they decided to not bring in a veteran quarterback and roll with Kyle Allen and Taylor Heineke and Alex Smith if he's healthy next year. Wouldn't shock me at all. I would prefer them not to go back to Alex personally, myself, because even Alex can't extend plays like that. Even Alex isn't working the football down the field like Taylor Heineke did tonight. He's just got total command of this offense. You saw it. Ovidar the obtuse, thank you for the super chat, who writes, Taylor earned the right to compete next year. I was disappointed with the defense, but the team fought the good fight. They can walk away heads high. Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. Eddie Behringer, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My man Eddie B writes, great season, Lou. Heineke was given the same plays as Alex, but was hitting the open man down the field that Alex wouldn't even try to hit. What do you think? The fact that J.D. McKissick didn't have 13 targets and 9 catches tells you all you need to know. All you need to know. I've been saying that all season long that Alex has been leaving shit out on the field. Tonight was a great example of what the offense is supposed to look like when you just read it out and you don't just take the underneath throw right away because it's there. Because just because the underneath throw is there doesn't mean something down the field isn't open. And I've shown you guys that during the film breakdown all season that there's food being left out on the field. A lot of meat being left on the bone. And Taylor wasn't leaving anything out there. If it was open down the field, he was delivering the football. I loved it. It was fun to watch. 99 problems Chase ain't one. Payne, I've been on him so hard, but I see his effort today. He played his ass off. Rest of the D-line, I want to see more. Disappointed. We got a taste. Indeed. I thought Allen had a couple of good rushes as well. Sweat had the sack, but it wasn't enough. Payne forced a fumble. He got 2 sacks on Brady. We needed more. Payne was outstanding, but we needed more. We needed more. Rage Gaming, thank you for doubling up. Double up. Greatly appreciate you, Rage Gaming, who writes, where was Peyton Barber in the game? What do you think of Gibson's effort? I thought Gibson gave it his all. He was banged up. He went out there. He fought for us. He was hurting. I got nothing but respect for Antonio Gibson and the effort that he put out on the football field. You didn't see any of Barber because there was no reason to see Barber. How many times were we in 4th and short in this game? Not many. How many times did we get down by the end zone and have a chance to run it in? Not many. So that's why you didn't see Peyton Barber in this game. There was no reason for Peyton Barber because we weren't in those situations. And that Buccaneers defense, they lived up to their reputation. They don't give up yards on the ground, and we couldn't run it. Got another super chat. This next one is from Extra Squad. Thank you for the super chat, Extra Squad, who writes, I'm not a delusional fan saying Chase Young is a bust. He's a star, but he was very disappointing tonight. It happens. You're not going to get star performances from your stars every game. You would like it. He's a rookie. As he continues to grow in this league and he learns how to, set tackles up, and he's just, this was his 16th game because he missed a game this season of his career. Like, if you're expecting this guy to go out and get 2 sacks every game, you're sadly mistaken. Like, he's going to have to learn how to put moves together. He's still figuring some things out. No shame in what he put forth tonight. He learned a lesson tonight. A, you don't ruffle the feathers of a legend. And B, you're going to have to be able to step up in these types of games. He wasn't double teamed. He wasn't triple teamed tonight. He just didn't get it done. Shit happens. He'll be better. I'm not worried. JP, my man John Perez, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My man JP says, we almost had them. This hurts, but we're going to be right back here again next year. Feels that way? We'll see what happens. One thing I can say, we were relatively healthy this year. We really did a pretty good job of staying healthy. We're going to need a lot of that again next year. That's for sure. We'll see what happens. But this feels, again, as I've said before, this feels like the beginning of something real, tangible, something big, something that we can sink our teeth into moving forward. 99 problems, Chase ain't one. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. 99 problems, Chase ain't one, who writes, JD played horrible on blitz pickup and sacks and INT. JD is 195 pounds, maybe. Like, that's not his thing. He's not a blitz pickup guy. We really don't have a back that's tremendous at doing that right now. And so that's JD's kind of struggled in that all season long. You remember last week he gave up a sack on a blitz pickup as well. That's not really what he does well. Antonio Gibson's still learning blitz pickups, so we struggled in that department a little bit. Brian Norfleet, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Brian writes, this season was so fun. It really was. Off-season should be interesting. Most fun since RG3's rookie year. Hopefully we get a mobile quarterback ready for draft videos. This was a fun season. I can admit this was a lot more fun than 2015. So this was fun. This felt 2012-ish. It did, because that felt like the beginning of dominance for a decade until the playoff game when Robert went down. But this season was definitely fun. I agree. Barrett Downing, my man BD, double up, thank you for doubling up. Barrett Downing, my man BD, writes, all that scrambling he did had me fearing for him back there. Heck of a performance. That touchdown scramble, that was ridiculous. I mean, that's only a select few in this league can pull that off. I mean, he looked like he was trapped. He looked like they had him dead to rights. He dips, he dodges, he's back, he's forth. He finds his way out of there, and then he turns on the jets and then dives for the pylon. Are you kidding me? That got me hyped. That got me hyped right there. Really did. I'm not going to lie to you. That had me hyped. Chauncey Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My man Chauncey writes, Lou, this game was tailor-made for Matt Ioannidis, and we need bigger DBs when the D-line plays like they did tonight, a speed linebacker in the draft. Those sound like more reasonable requests. I don't think the offensive line is even close to one of your biggest concerns right now. Honestly, Ioannidis, like I said, these are the types of games where you miss a Matt Ioannidis, where the interior pressure is so big. I thought the linebackers were solid, but we got hurt over the middle of the field with the tight ends. We really did. And that was my biggest fear. Remember, I told you, I'm not really worried on the outsides. Maybe I should have been because Mike Evans had a field day. But I told you I was worried about the slot and the tight ends. And Cameron Brate ate us up. And they did a lot of work over the middle of the football field. And, again, that's Brady. You got to give him his due, his just due. It's Brady. You make a mistake, he's going to make you pay for the mistake. And some of those throws, like that throw to Evans on that final drive when we needed to stop at 28-23, are you kidding me? That wasn't terrible coverage by Kendall Fuller. It's just a great throw, a good route. He beat him off the line of scrimmage immediately. He immediately put Kendall Fuller on his hip. And then Brady put a perfect ball out there. I mean, what are you going to do? Derek Only, thank you for the super chat. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Derek Only, who writes, hey, Lou, it's not the night to wear the black through. We wasn't supposed to be here. We on the rise. They put some respect on our name. Again, I'm not one to break up tradition. We lost the game, so dressed in all black like the Omen. But there's nothing to be ashamed of. I feel really good about what we put on the field tonight. As we said, there's no reason to hang your head. We got to the party early, man. We weren't supposed to be here yet. And we represented the NFC East well tonight. You know, if we would have lost this game, 31-13, then you got a reason to be upset. But that's not what happened. We fought. We had the football with a chance to tie it late. That's all you can ask for. Lovely D Piano, thank you for the super chat. Got another super chat here from Derek B. Greatly appreciate you. My man Derek B. writes, okay with a 16-pack of Heine for 2021. No draft quarterback at 19. FA or trade. Playoff-ready team and head coach. Number 1, A wide receiver and middle linebacker critical for 2021. Ron's plan ahead of schedule. I think we definitely need a middle linebacker. I still think that's one of our biggest needs. While I told you that John Bostic is not terrible, and I would love to have him back as a backup, I don't want him starting. And you can do much better at middle linebacker. And I think that's one of your biggest needs this offseason is to go get you a game-changing middle linebacker. If we can do that and add a couple more pieces, receiver being one of them, I think this team has a chance, a legitimate shot. Twin D, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Twin D writes, I'm not 100% sold on Taylor as the starting quarterback yet. However, if we get a solid number one and keep Taylor and Kyle as backups, we'll have one of the strongest quarterback cores in the league. Again, I think that's the direction they're heading in. But I feel really good about both of these dudes, Kyle Allen and Taylor Heinicke. I actually, I'm a Kyle Allen guy, but, I root more for Taylor Heinicke because he's a Monarch. So I love what I saw tonight. It reminded me of when he was back in college. All the shit you saw tonight, he was doing it at ODU. So I wasn't surprised at what he was doing. I was surprised where he was doing it. In this moment, in a playoff game, in the NFL, against a good Buccaneers defense. Not a great defense, but a good Buccaneers defense that was fast. And Todd Bowles didn't hold any punches back. He sent the kitchen sink after him. And I thought he handled himself very well in this football game. King of the North, greatly appreciate you. King of the North writes, Gibby looked hurt. He was hurt. Ain't no doubt about it. Brady shredded us. Big takeaway is we found ourselves at QB if he can stay healthy. I think we signed him on a cheap deal too. Another piece of the puzzle filled. Again, I don't think that's going to be the end-all, be-all at the quarterback position. But again, as I mentioned, he gave the coaching staff something to think about. Because if you want me to be brutally honest, in these 4 quarters, and this includes Kyle Allen, and I thought he did some really good things this season, this is the best this offense under Scott Turner has been run. I don't think anybody can deny that. Watching it tonight, he pushed it down the field even more than Kyle Allen did. Had plenty of arm strength to get the football everywhere it needed to go. I thought that he ran this offense with the type of efficiency that we've been looking for all season long. So, again, he gave him something to think about. Got another super chat. This one is from DCJ. Thank you for the super chat, DCJ. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, my only main issue is with the flip in momentum with the early squib kick. Also, no pass rush, and legit, you got to consider re-signing Taylor at least as a backup. That wasn't a squib kick. He didn't mean to do that. He just didn't kick it well. And that's not the first time he's done that this season. He'll tell you, I just didn't hit it well on that one. He didn't mean to do that. Atypical brother. Thank you for tripling up. Greatly appreciate you. Atypical brother writes, tripling up, Lou. Looking forward to what our future holds. How do you feel about moving Cam to free safety, Cameron Curl? Once Collins comes back, could be a great duo. It'll be interesting to see what they do at the safety position. They got some decisions to make there because DeShazer was outstanding this year. I actually liked what Jeremy Reeves gave us this season as well. I don't think Reeves is a starter, but it's good to know that if he has to play, he won't wet the bed. He can come in and play some competent safety for us. But it'll be interesting to see what they do there. Anyway, Twin D, thank you for doubling up. Double up. Greatly appreciate you, Twin D, who writes, so a couple of my Cowboys fan friends are texting me, telling me to come sit on the couch next to them. My response, nope. My couch is in a separate wing of the house, the playoff wing. I like that. Twin D. I like that. Hunter Hodovic, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, who writes, ooh, man, they almost had him, T. So proud of these guys. Taylor's got a huge heart and balled out for us tonight. Looking forward to the next year. HTTWFT. And you know what was crazy about that is he got injured, and I didn't think he was coming back, and I didn't want to see Steven Montez. And he was like, don't worry, bro. You don't have to. I got you. And he came back, and not only did he come back, he came back and gave us a chance. Jafal28. Thank you for the super chat, Jafal28, who writes, proud of this team and your growth covering this team. Been watching since 2015, I think. Looking forward to better things to come all around. Hail. I love it. I love the growth of everything. This team, the growth of them throughout the course of this season, their inability to quit. And hopefully Chase didn't do anything major there. He'll have all offseason to heal up And looking forward to him coming back and being stronger than ever next year. Double M, my man Martin Matthews, thank you for the super chat, who writes, "Hey, Louie, I'm disappointed but not angry. I think they represented the NFC East just fine." I concur. You know, and I love that Mike Tirico did this game because he put a lot of respect on our damn name, unlike Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels. I really love the fact that those two were doing the game, Dungy and Mike Tirico. I'm a massive Mike Tirico fan. You already know that. So Ishmael Benitez, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Ishmael writes, "Maybe if they would have gave us that McKissick catch and fumble out of bounds, it would have been a different ending. We got a harder schedule next year." I thought it was a catch, but look, the officials were not on our side in this game. But JD needs to catch the damn ball cleanly. You know, you didn't have it a bunch of targets all night long. We finally throw it to you, and that's what you do. Catch the goddamn football. But yeah, it would have been different because then you don't find yourself in a long distance situation on third down. Really, I would like Taylor not to take a sack there on third down, but he did. Jake Willis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jake Willis writes, "Gibson didn't look healthy. Would have liked to have seen more Barber and JD runs early. Happy with the team's performance, though. Great season." Gibson definitely wasn't healthy, but we knew that going in. He gave us what he had, but he was running flat-footed, and that tells you he didn't want to run on his tippy toes because he couldn't. So he wasn't healthy, but he gave us everything he had. I'll never fault a guy for giving us everything he's got, and he did. He played hard, and it didn't matter who was back there. We weren't going to run on this Buccaneers defense. King of the North, thank you for the super chat and doubling up. Double up. Greatly appreciate you, King of the North, who writes, "Tonight showed us that you can never have enough good DBs. We have to be able to play man if we are going to beat good quarterbacks like Brady and win a Super Bowl." Yeah, I mean, you not necessarily have to play man. You just got to get to the quarterback. That's the key. Like, yeah, we can sit here and talk about the DBs and guys getting beat in the secondary. You got to get to the quarterback. That's how you alleviate that. Not having 87,000 DBs, but getting to the quarterback. Derek B, thank you for doubling up. Double up. Derek B writes, "Payne looked like Bama ship in 2018. Roll Tide, LOL." But that might have been the best game from a pass rushing standpoint that I've seen him play all season long. I thought Deron Payne was outstanding. Got another super chat. This one is from DCJ. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, DCJ, who writes, "Given that we lost, but regardless, Lou, can we get a hand clap for Taylor? Kid bald. Let's LG resign and let legit quarterback is the mission this offseason." So left guard resign in terms of Sheriff, and a legit quarterback is the mission this offseason, DCJ. And they're right. We can get a hand clap. We can even get a know your clap. Let's get a know your clap. Let's get a know your clap. We can get a know your clap for him. Anyway, got another one here from Ain't No Half Stefan. Thank you for the super chat, Ain't No Half Stefan, who writes, "Greatly appreciate you. What's your sense of the squib kick off that's got us cleaning out our lockers on Monday?" I don't know. It's hard for me to say. That squib kick, again, he didn't mean to do that. He didn't mean to do that. He just missed it. He didn't hit it good. You know, he didn't hit it good. It hurt because you score, and I remember in the MOBB specifically saying, all right, this is the first time the defense is going to have a chance to exhale and not really have Brady and company with great field position. We were on our heels the entire first quarter because of the lack of offensive, us moving the football and then the turnover. So we were on our heels a ton in the first half, and then you score and you're like, okay, now we can breathe. And then you get the kick, and they got it at the 40-yard line. It's like kicking the ball out of bounds. It was ridiculous. Got Any Grapes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, Got Any Grapes, who writes, "Hey, Google, play the Ducks." Wait a minute. You about to get me in trouble. Just playing, fam.
Wait a minute, but it either isn't available or can't be played right now.
And I fell for the banana in the tailpipe. I really did. I could smack you, Got Any Grapes. I really could right now. And I fell for the banana in the tailpipe. How could I? Such a dunce. I'm such a dunce. Just playing, fam. I told you we were going to discuss number 4, and wow, Jimmy and the middle linebackers were devastating to us, even though Chase is getting blamed. So proud, though. So I know people are going to kill Jimmy for the touchdown to Antonio Gibson, the first one of the game. That wasn't on Jimmy per se. That was Jack trying to get too cute. I said, remember somebody had asked on Thursday night, should we just play man-to-man coverage and switch it up against Brady? And I'm like, that's not who we've been. I said, I just don't want Jack to try to get too cute because Brady's seen it all. And what did we do? We tried that stupid-ass inverted cover 2 shit that we got beat against Detroit on. And what did he do? As soon as we did it, Jimmy's coming down or backing up to go to safety. The safety's coming down. And Brady just hit the damn wheel right up the sideline. Easy money. Easy money. It was ridiculous. Trying to be too cute. You're not going to confuse Brady. Just get to him. That was the name of the game. Don't try to confuse him. He's seen it all. Just get to him. Rich O'Flair. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Rich writes, bro, we should keep Heineke. He's playing like he wants to be a starter next year. He did. He played like a man that was playing for his last opportunity to play in this league. Like a guy that knew, if I don't ball here, I'll never get another chance. And he balled, and even if it's not here, even if it's not in a starting capacity, this man has a 10-year plus NFL career now if he wants to play ball. DCJ, thank you for tripling up. Greatly appreciate you. DCJ writes, maybe I'm wrong, but if this playoff game wasn't TB12, Skins would have won. But I also truly believe Skins could have won tonight. Slow first half and no stops. There were opportunities. There were a bunch of opportunities. Again, the officials didn't help, but they weren't the reason we lost this game. We didn't get what it all boils down to is we had one of our worst defensive performances of the season, but we have not seen a quarterback like this year. We didn't see one quarterback on our schedule that looked like Tom Brady, so we weren't prepared for the onslaught that was coming. The closest we saw to Brady, believe it or not, was Matthew Stafford. Brady had almost 400 passing yards. We don't even give up 400 total yards of offense most games. He had 381 passing, did Brady tonight. And I'm pretty sure they rushed for over 100 yards. Between Fournette and the rookie that fumbled and Antonio Brown's 22 or 24-yard run, they had over 100 yards rushing tonight. Guarantee it. Easy. Zacchaeus Maggette III, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Writes, our quarterbacks keep getting hurt. We just can't catch a break with our quarterbacks. The last one to play all 16 games was Kirk Cousins. I told you one of the best abilities is availability in this league. And if you can't stay healthy, it's hard for you to win, especially at the quarterback position. We went through 5 quarterbacks this year, almost a 6th if Steven Montez would have had to come into the game. We started 4 different quarterbacks this season. 5 different guys played in games for us this year, and almost a 6th. It's amazing that we made it as far as we did. B_Mayo. Thank you for the super chat. B_Mayo, who writes, need a playmaker in the draft regardless of quarterback. I agree. We need another guy. Whether it's in the draft. I don't think it's going to be in the draft. I think they want one via free agency. You're going to get another playmaker. I do believe that to be the case when it's all said and done. Luke Butts, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, Luke, who writes, Lou, we now know what we got, and we now need, and what we need. So we know what we got. We know what we need. Now we can go to work. Ron's plan. I feel like we're heading in that direction. Still some questions to be answered this offseason. A lot of guys that were on these 1-year prove-it deals. A lot of these guys that, that we got to see if we're going to be able to retain. And if not, we got to find answers for them. But we got draft capital. We got cap space. We got some guys that we feel really good about moving forward. And I think you're right. We know what we have now. And we know what we need to go out and get. So now it's about going out and doing that. Zach LaRoche, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Zach writes, we would have been embarrassed with an Alex Smith of any health. Yeah, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with if Alex was out there, this would have been 31-13. Without a doubt. This is not 31-23 with a chance to tie it with the football. late in the game. Not even close. I couldn't agree with you more. Heine was the wild card we needed to make it competitive. Couldn't agree with you more, Zach. Couldn't agree with you more. Rush is variety. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Rush is variety writes. Another great Washington season under your belt, Lou. Enjoyed dissecting the season this year. Thanks, Lou. I said all of that to say this. T. LOL. Really appreciate you, AP. Really do. Thank you for that super chat. Got another super chat. This one is from Rebel Raw. Or Raw Rebel, excuse me. Raw Rebel writes, you think Reuben Foster can get back to form and be the middle linebacker we need? Hard to say. You just never know with injuries what a guy's going to look like, if he ever is going to come back to the form that he once was. So it's impossible to say that that's going to be the case right now. We just don't know. I think he'll get an opportunity, though. I think they'll bring him back. Chauncey Davis, thank you for doubling up. Double up. Greatly appreciate you, Chauncey Davis, who writes, Lou, we were doing some things defensively to confuse Brady that took us out of what we normally do. You can't confuse the GOAT. That's what I said. Like, at this point of the season, it's not about trying things to be creative. It's about doing the things you've done all season better. Okay? This isn't the time. I don't think one time when we've run inverted cover 2, something good has happened. Not one time this year that I can remember when we've run inverted cover 2 that we've actually had a good outcome on that play. We gave up a touchdown to Detroit. We gave up a touchdown tonight. We gave up a big play against the Giants. I don't understand why we continue to go to the well with that. We gave up a big play against Carolina when we tried to go inverted cover 2. I don't know why we continue to try to run this. It's not something we do very well. Brady isn't going to be confused. You want to confuse Brady? Get pressure on him. Then he'll be confused. Get pressure on him. Martin Matthews, greatly appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Double M writes, hey, Louie, people forget this was supposed to be a rebuilding year. Wasn't supposed to win 3 games and made it to the offs. Hey, Louie, I said last night Taylor was going to play his face off, LOL, and he did. And you asked, I think you were the one that asked the question, what if he plays his face off? You know, is he the quarterback next year? And I was like, I don't know if that's how they're going to feel, but he played his face off. And I gave you a stat line that was something like 24 of 35 for 280 and 2 touchdowns. Well, he wasn't that far off. What was it? 26 of 44 for 306, a touchdown and the interception. And the interception was a batted ball with an open receiver that he was going to hit. So I thought he was outstanding, man. Thought he gave us a chance. That's all we asked for was a chance, and he gave us a chance. Leno Ryan Benavite, thank you for the super chat. Leno Ryan, who writes, fun second half of the season. Seen some future player pieces step up and shine. Lou, you've been awesome all year, brother. Thank you. No, thank you guys, all of you out there for the support that you've shown me and the entire brand. It's been awesome, and we just gonna keep moving forward. We're gonna keep grinding because that's what we do here. So it was a fun season, and sad that it's ending tonight. I wasn't ready for it to be over, to be brutally honest with you, but we knew that more likely than not at 11:30 tonight the season was going to be over. Okay, we knew that was a realistic possibility, but I love the way the guys fought tonight for sure. DCJ, thank you for the super chat and tripling up. Really appreciate you. Might be 4. I think you're tripling up though. DCJ writes, I don't want Dak. Stafford or Watson, make it happen. I honestly don't see any of those guys coming here. But we'll see. You never know. I still don't have a read on what the staff is thinking or how they feel. So we'll see. Tizzy Bang. Thank you for the super chat, Tizzy Bang, who writes, like you said before, Lou, keep building around the quarterback first. Keep Allen. Keep Heineke. Draft one later this year and not a lot of options at our draft position. You know what? I would really like for them, personally, if you want my opinion, I would like for them to not draft a quarterback. After seeing what I saw from Heineke, unless one that I really, really like falls to us, then yeah, no, take him. But if none of the guys I like is there at 19, which is probably where we'll end up because we had the worst record of any of the playoff teams, and we lost. So we'll probably be drafting 19th. And if none of the guys that I personally like is there, then I don't want to draft a quarterback just for the sake of drafting a quarterback. You know, there'll be other talented players at other positions that we need help at that they can take at 19. So if they love a guy at quarterback, take him. Got no problems with that. But if they go in a different direction, I would have no problems this offseason running it back with a healthy Kyle Allen, with a healthy Taylor Heineke, and Steven Montez. I would not have a problem with that. Honestly, I wouldn't. Because it would still allow you to spend money in other areas. And you wouldn't have to invest very much money and still may be able to get enough out of the quarterback position that you can win. Now, I understand if you want to win consistently in this league, you need a guy. Is Kyle Allen or Taylor Heineke the guy? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that definitively. But drafting a guy doesn't ensure that you're getting a guy either. You don't know. You hope that you draft a guy and he turns into what Justin Herbert looked like this year, but you're not sure. You're not sure. I just want to keep building this thing. Just keep building. Building. Sean, HTTR forever. Thank you for the super chat, Sean. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, defense let us down. Too many big plays. Ridiculous. They did. What can you do? Really disappointed in the defense tonight. I'm not going to lie to you. Got another super chat from J Mart. Thank you for doubling up. Double up. Greatly appreciate you, J Mart, who writes, great season, surprised by the D and wowed by the O tonight. Taylor Heineke earned a spot. We represented, and Chase Young had to eat a piece of humble pie. You know, that's the most surprising part of tonight's game. Not that Brady ate us up. Not that Taylor Heineke went out and played well, because I knew he was capable of doing that. Didn't think he would play as well as he played. But you know what was the most disappointing part of tonight and surprising for me was just that it was the offense that gave us a chance and not the defense. Thought it would be the other way around. Thought that the offense would do enough to keep it interesting, but ultimately the defense was what was going to give us a chance. And we didn't have a chance on defense tonight. It didn't feel like the defense gave us much of a chance. It felt like the only reason we were even in this game is because of the defense. Now, offense, excuse me. But I do want you guys to understand that the defense stepped up in the red zone. And that's why this game wasn't 40-23, but rather 31-23. Because the defense forced Brady and company, when they got into the red zone, 3 times to kick field goals in 4 trips to the red zone. 3 times they forced them to kick a field goal. That's huge. Remember, I said, look, they can't have more than 2 red zone touchdowns. Well, they had 1. I said, they're going to get down there a bunch. It's Brady. It's Antonio Brown. It's Mike Evans. It's Gronk. It's Chris Godwin. It's Scotty Miller. It's Cameron Brate. They're going to get down there a bunch of times. We just can't let them score more than 2 touchdowns in the red zone. Well, they scored 1 on 4 trips. So for as bad as the defense played, they bent, but they did not break. They gave us a chance. And, you know, we had opportunities on offense too. Like, I was disappointed in the defense, but this could have been a lot worse. The defense gave us a shot. Lovey D Piano, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Lovey D Piano writes, Heine getting bashed on Twitter right now. He's a MAGA. I don't know anything about that, but if he is, that's his. I mean, Jack Del Rio's a MAGA. So, I mean, what are you saying? As long as he's not one of these crazy MAGAs, like the ones that, were insurgents at the damn Capitol, then, because you can support whatever you want, you can support whoever you want, but you got to draw the line somewhere. Like Jack Del Rio is a MAGA supporter. We know that. We knew that already. I don't have any ill will towards Jack because that's what he wants to do. You got to draw the line somewhere, though. So, people are going to do what they want to do. At the end of the day, he played his ass off tonight. That's all I know. Hate E. Thank you for the super chat. Hate E. Greatly appreciate you. Writes, thank you for what you do, Lou. We are clearly a couple of pieces away from potential greatness. Proud of how we fought till the end. Should draft a quarterback first / free agent quarterback. I'm not sure what they're going to do at quarterback. I still think that they're going to do something at quarterback. I don't think Taylor Heineke's performance tonight nor Kyle Allen's performance earlier this season before the injury is going to dissuade them from doing whatever it is they felt like they needed to do going into this game. Because they had a thought about what they needed to do at quarterback going into this game. Whether Heineke played well or poorly, they already had something in their mind that they said, all right, this is the plan for the offseason at the quarterback position. We're going to go aggressively after this guy. If we can't get him, we're going to draft a guy. Maybe that's the thought process. I don't think that changes with the way Taylor Heineke played tonight. He does make them think, but I don't think it alters the way they approach the offseason. But we will see. We will see. Definitely. Leno Ryan Benvenite, thank you for the super chat and doubling up. Double up. Leno Ryan writes, hit that double up, Lou. Hail to the Washington football team from way out here in the middle of the Pacific. Thank you for the support all the way out there in the middle of the Pacific. Greatly appreciate you. And, man, what a season it's been indeed. Thank you for the support, Leno Ryan Benvenite. Got another super chat. This one is from ASH and double E. All right, Ash and double E. So what do you think about Joe Brady as a possible head coach? I think he's going to get a job. I really do. Think somebody's going to hire him. Similar to Sean McVay, he's very young, and that's deterring some people from making the decision right now. But no team has hired a coach. There are 6 vacancies. I think Joe Brady is ultimately going to fill one of them. I think he's one and done in Carolina as an offensive coordinator. And, if I'm Jacksonville, Joe Brady's the kind of guy that I would want to coach Trevor Lawrence. If I'm Houston, Joe Brady is the kind of guy I would want coaching Deshaun Watson. So, the Jets interviewed him as well. They've got a decision to make at the quarterback position. If they ultimately decide to draft Justin Fields, Joe Brady is the kind of guy that I would want, Justin Fields to be coached by. So there's some interesting situations that he could end up in, all of which I think he would do a fantastic job. We saw what he did with Joe Burrow at LSU and what he did with Teddy Bridgewater this year in Carolina. I think he would do wonders with, any of those 3 destinations that I just named with any of those quarterbacks. So, I think he'd even do a great job with Justin Herbert in Los Angeles with the Chargers. So I think Joe Brady's going to end up getting a coaching job, but we will see. Justin Mooney, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Justin Mooney writes, we needed KPL tonight. Well, he was active. They went with Kendricks. He was the healthier of the 2. He played the most, but KPL, he was out there. Let's see. I think I got another super chat. Yeah, do have another super chat. Let's get back here. And this next one is from DCJ. Thank you for your 4th of the night. Greatly appreciate you, DCJ, who writes, not a hate or disrespect towards our D. Overall, D is more finesse than physical, but I think Ron is going to make them physical going forward. Hit them in the mouth. I think our defense is good. I'm not down on the defense. I'm disappointed in them tonight, but the reason we're even here is because of this defense. So make no mistake about it. And they did all they could with what we had because we're missing some items defensively. If you want to take it to the next level, you want to be one of these defenses that changes the game. you need to have certain pieces, and we don't have some of those pieces, and we need to go out and get some of those pieces. And so I think much like last year, remember how we felt about Montez Sweat last year? He was all right, rookie season. Kind of came on at the end, but yeah, he was all right. Montez was a stud this year. What do you think year 2 of Chase Young in the NFL is going to look like? Just think about that for a second. He's trust me, he's going to turn into one of those dudes that becomes damn near unblockable down the road. I really feel it. So this defense is going to get better by default. Without even adding anything, and they're going to add some guys that are going to make this defense better. DCJ, thank you for the super chat. Fifth of the night. Greatly appreciate you. My man DCJ writes, win or lose, regardless, Lou, we are the MF Division champs in 2020. Took the game to the end with the second quarterback to start who balled. Our NFL clip is just fight, don't quit. That's who we are. That's who we've been. And I told you going into the game, that's who we were going to be tonight. And that's why I'm so proud of these boys, because I knew what we've been all season, and everybody was counting us out and thinking we were going to get blown out. And I said they haven't been watching us very much this season. And I also told you that unlike all season long, the defense is going to give it up in the second half, because this is unlike any offense we've seen this season. This is Brady and the bunch, and they were going to score some points, and they did in the second half. Got another super chat here from J.L. Smooth, my man John Livingston. Thank you for the super chat, who writes, what up, Lou? Was rooting so hard for you guys tonight against that whiny baby Brady. A lot of fight in that team. Almost put my head through the wall in the last 7 minutes of the Bills game. Hashtag Bills Mafia. They made you sweat. They made you sweat down the stretch, but you guys got it done and advanced to the divisional round. Good to hear from you, J.L. Smooth. Chauncey Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my man Chauncey. I think you tripling up here. Really appreciate you. Might be doubling up. We're just going to do both. Double up. Feels like 3 for you, though. My man Chauncey Davis writes, Lou, we don't defend screenplays and end arounds too well. Who's responsible are those for those plays? And we're going to lose Settle. What can we get for him? Well, you can't get anything for him unless he's on the contract. I think we got Settle, I think, in the same draft with, I feel like we got Settle the same draft with Deron Payne, if I'm not mistaken. Because I remember us feeling like we wouldn't have drafted Payne if we knew we were going to get Settle 4 rounds later. So Settle should have 1 more year left on his deal. And you're probably right. You can't pay everybody. He'll probably be one of those guys that will have to get paid elsewhere. You just draft better. I don't know if anybody will give you anything for him. I mean, obviously he's a talented football player, but I don't even know if we'd be looking to move him per se. Time will tell what they decide to do. As far as the screen plays, we've been pretty good on screens this year because Chase Young usually does a great job of sniffing it out and making a play. But on the end around that Antonio Brown had, Casey Toohill was in the game. What is he doing in the game? This is the shit I'm talking about. Like, we're in the playoffs, and again, unless one of these guys asks to come out, I don't need to see Casey Toohill in the game. I know you like him and you want to see what he can do. This is not the time. He bit down so hard on the run fake that he was supposed to be at home on the backside of that thing. He was nowhere to be found, and that's how Antonio Brown got to the outside. Anyway, I digress. 4G63 Addict, thank you for the super chat, who writes, that squib kick was a horrible call and an even worse call of the game. Hell, again, I'd bet any amount of money that they didn't call a squib kick there. He just didn't hit it well. They don't have a return guy that scares you, that forces you to want to try to do something crazy. Kick it out of the back of the end zone and play defense. That's what they wanted Dustin Hopkins to do. He just didn't do it. So that wasn't a called kick. He just missed it. Just like sometimes guys kick the football out of bounds. The Buccaneers kicker almost kicked the football out of bounds. It barely went inside the pylon, went out of bounds, and ended up being a touchback. It almost was an illegal kick out of bounds, and we got it at the 40. He didn't mean to do that. It just almost happened. Same thing with the kick. Zacchaeus Maggette III, double up, thank you for doubling up, Zacchaeus Maggette III, who writes, whatever we do, we should keep our defensive front four together instead of signing a free agent quarterback, which might be a bigger cap hit. Well, I think they have a chance this offseason to take a step towards that by re-signing Jonathan Allen. They got one more year left on that rookie deal. They picked up the fifth-year option. He balled out this year. I think they're gonna re-sign Jonathan Allen in the offseason, so that would take care of that. Then Payne would be next. Then Sweat would be after that, and then it would be Chase Young. So, how do you guys feel about the nickname they've been given? I heard it for the first time last week on Sunday night when they called them the Maroon 4. How do you guys feel about that? I don't know. I got mixed feelings about that, and I'm a Maroon 5 fan. I don't know how I feel about the Maroon 4. Anyway, I just thought I'd ask. Martin Matthews, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my man. Double M. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Greatly appreciate you. My man Martin writes, hey, Louie, you said that Steven Sims would contribute, but where the hell did this Cam Sims come from? He showed off tonight. Steven Sims did contribute. Had a big catch for a third down conversion on our first scoring drive of the game. He did have a drop that was very impactful because that was on a second and like a 21 after that bogus holding call on Brandon Sheriff that killed that one drive. He went to Steven Sims, and if he catches that and turns up the field, it's probably a gain of 12 or 13 and gets you back into a respectable 3rd and 8 or 9 instead of 3rd and 21, and you got a punt. Anyway, he did have the big third down catch. He dragged his toe, got the first down. We ended up scoring a touchdown on that drive. And he did catch the touchdown late to give us a chance. So Steven Sims was impactful. Cam Sims was also outstanding again. The drop at the beginning of the game, very impactful. That one hurt a lot. However, he was outstanding. After that, Cam Sims was pretty much unstoppable the remainder of the night. The ball came his way. He made plays. Anyway, let's see. I think I got more super chats here. Got one here from, let's see. Got one here from DCJ. Again, 6 super chatters a night for DCJ. Greatly appreciate you. DCJ writes, hope Jack Del Rio returns, but you know how coaches go. But overall, Washington football team going to be tough, at least in the NFC. Must grabs at least a legit linebacker and quarterback, not sweating tough 21 schedule. We don't know how tough that schedule ultimately is going to be. We don't know how good these teams are going to be next season. So we'll see what the schedule holds in store for us. I'm not really worried about that at all. You control what you can control. At the end of the day, I think JDR comes back. I don't see any reason why Jack Del Rio doesn't come back. He loves football. He loves ball. And he seems to get along well with Ron Rivera. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be back next year. DCJ, 7th super chat of the night. Greatly appreciate you. DCJ writes, legit number 1 or number 2 wide receiver and left tackle. Also, D is ready. Obviously, we're going to do something at receiver. I think that's a given. I think that might be one of the first and maybe one of the only big free agent offseason splashes that we make is at receiver. I think they want a veteran to come in here at the receiver position. Not a super veteran like Marvin Jones, who's 31, but I say a veteran, a guy that's going into the prime of his career on his second deal, but he's been in the league 4 or 5 years. like a Corey Davis. And I keep bringing him up because he's a great example. He's going into his second contract, and he's 26. That's the kind of guy they're looking for, somebody like that. So it'll be interesting to see what they actually do. But I think with Chris Godwin, the guy that ate us up, he did have some drops tonight. But Chris Godwin's a hell of a receiver. He'll be a free agent in the offseason. There's a lot of guys that'll be available. I think they're going to grab one of them. Let's see. Got another super chat. This one is from Alex Kurz. Thank you for the super chat, Alex Kurz, who writes, what are your thoughts on Sims squared getting opportunities? Heine fed them the best. Calculating the square root of Sims squared with the differential reads. Maybe Sims squared needed Heine's equation. I thought that a lot of the guys that he's been comfortable with working in practice, the guys that, not Terry McLaurin and the guys that have been getting reps with the ones, but those guys that are getting the second team reps and the third team reps and things of that nature, he was more comfortable throwing those guys the football. And you could tell. And but that's the thing. I don't think this was necessarily I'm more comfortable. Like they tried to make it during the telecast, like, oh, he's comfortable throwing it to Steven Sims and Cam Sims, and that's why they're getting more targets. I just think he was going through his progressions, and those were the guys that were open, and he was getting the ball to the open guy. Terry still got his targets. Let's go through and check and see how many. I think Terry had at least 6 targets. Let's go and look at Terry's targets in the game. Terry had 7 targets, and he had 6 catches. Like, he still spread the football around. Cam Sims had 7 for 104. He had 13 targets. That's a lot of damn targets. But he was open. So he kept feeding him the football. Logan Thomas had 9 targets. He had 5 catches for 74 yards. And so the guys that we expected to stepped up. Cam Sims, Terry McLaurin, and Logan Thomas. Those are the guys that have been stepping up all season long, and they stepped up again. I thought JD would have a bigger impact, but guess what? When Alex Smith isn't checking it down every 2 seconds, JD McKissic doesn't have as big an impact. And that's a good thing. That's what we want. We don't want JD with 13 targets and 7 catches for 67 yards. We want J.D. McKissic to have a limited role. Billy Mack, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Billy Mack writes, never thought the offense would outshine the defense. That was, to me, the biggest surprise of the night, and I pretty much kind of laid that out for you guys, that I went into this game thinking that the defense was the only chance we had to win and that the offense just needed to do enough to give us a shot. And it was the opposite way around. Like, the offense kept us in this game, and the defense just needed to do something. And again, they got some stops. It's not like they didn't get any stops, and they got stops in the red zone. But the problem is they just moved the football too many times tonight. Too easy tonight. Too many chunk plays. Like, just frustrating. I mean, even that last field goal, it's 3rd and like 17 after the Deron Payne sack. And we drop into this prevent look like don't give it up. And we give up 15. That field goal barely snuck inside the left upright. If that field goal is 5 yards further away, it's a miss. And because you decided to just drop back, hey, don't want to give it up, you gave up 15 damn yards on 3rd and 17 and made it a chip-chop field goal for a kicker that was dying to miss. He was dying to miss. That's the kind of stuff that just was frustrating tonight. Chauncey Davis, thank you for the super chat. Your 4th of the night. Greatly appreciate you, my man. Chauncey writes, Lou, number 4 energized the O-line tonight. When they went to the sideline, the O-line would circle around him with encouragement. I think anytime you got a guy that is going to run the way that he did, do you know how much pressure you take off the offensive line when they know they don't have to be perfect? Like with Alex, they know they got to be perfect or they're giving up 5 sacks. You know how much better it is when you know all I got to do is my job, and if I get beat, this guy may still be able to escape and make something happen and not make me look like an ass. I remember back in 2013 13 when the offensive line was so terrible and everybody was killing the offensive line. Oh my God, these guys are so horrific. And they didn't realize that the offensive line wasn't terrible. It was Robert. Robert was the problem. And I remember when Jay Gruden got here in 2014 and we were killing the offensive line and they were so terrible. And Jay went off after that Eagles game when Robert was throwing people under the bus. And Jay stepped up. He said, look, quarterback's taking, bad drops. He's dropping further in depth than he's supposed to. The tackles don't know where the hell to set because this guy is dropping back and getting way more depth than he's supposed to. He's holding on to the ball too long. He's not making reads. He's not getting rid of the football fast enough. That makes the offensive line look worse than what they really are. And that's why the offensive line, first of all, they blocked their asses off tonight. It really wasn't a ton of pressure. When they rushed forward, there was no pressure. And the only time they got pressure is when they blitzed. And even then, still, Taylor Heineke made things happen. It was, if I'm an offensive lineman, I would have been encouraged too. I really would have. Got another super chat here from DCJ. 8th of the night. Greatly appreciate you. My man DCJ writes, if you threw out quarterback free agents or draft, who you got? Again, there aren't really any guys that are going to be free agents that are noteworthy at the quarterback position. Only guy available is Dak. Everybody else, I mean, if you're a Jameis Winston guy, okay. But really, seriously, there's nobody available that would get you excited. All the guys that we've talked about, veterans to bring in, are under contract and you would have to trade for them. Whether it's Ryan, Stafford, Watson, even though I don't think any of those guys are going anywhere right now. Obviously in Detroit and in Atlanta, new blood is going to come in, new general manager, new head coach, and they'll decide how they want to move forward, whether they want to go with the veteran or they want to go with a young guy, especially in Atlanta where they got the number 4 pick in the draft, I believe. So they're in a position to draft a quarterback if they so choose. But Watson isn't going anywhere, so you can take him off your list. And again, Dak is going to cost you an arm and a leg, and he's coming off of an injury that I don't really think is going to impact him moving forward. But I don't think he gets out of Dallas. So there's not many out there in free agency now. In the draft, there's going to be plenty of guys that are draftable quarterbacks, but do they fit what we want to do? And do we like those guys? That's going to be the question. And we know how it goes. All the really good quarterbacks, and I think right now, if I had to say, there are probably about 4 guys that are really needle movers at the quarterback position. They're going to go in the top 10, more likely than not. And you know the names, Lawrence, Lance, Fields, and Wilson. Those 4 guys are going more likely than not in the top 10. So if you're going to be at 19, you're probably either going to have to move up if you want one of those guys, or you're going to have to just take what falls into your lap. And I don't think it's ultimately a quarterback. Maybe you draft a guy in the 2nd or the 3rd round that you like, but I don't think that guy's going to be there at 19. So we'll see what happens. Dante Cool, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Dante writes, only if we could stop them on 3rd down. Let's see what their 3rd down percentage was in this game. It felt like they were pretty efficient on 3rd downs, which was pretty disappointing. Every time it felt like we had them, Brady would hit somebody. It seemed like they would be wide ass open, and Brady would hit them. They were 6 of 14 on 3rd down. Well, guess what? We were 7 of 14 on 3rd down. So both teams were pretty efficient on 3rd downs. We completed them at a 50% clip, and they were just slightly under 50, right around like 43% or so, whatever. 6 of 14 is, let's do the math real quick. 6 of 14 is 42%. Ah, damn, I'm on beast. That's 43%. I hit that right on the head. Anyway, that's not terrible. It's not ideal. You don't want them completing 43% of their 3rd downs, but we gave up 507 total yards of offense. Let that sink in. 500 yards of total offense given up. We haven't done that all season long. 142 rush yards. And they hit us for 4.9 yards a pop, so damn near 5 a pop. That was the thing we couldn't do. We couldn't have them have a 2-way go of it. They ran it, They threw it. That's problematic for me. Super chat here. DCJ, thank you for your 9th super chat of the night. Windshield wiper status, greatly appreciate you. DCJ writes, the reality and the facts on Taylor why he played so well overall is no tape. For Tampa Bay to game plan legit wise, he took advantage of his opportunity overall. Well, it doesn't really matter if you got tape out on you or not. Like, their defensive coordinator, Todd Bowles, his MO is just to blitz the draws off of you, whether I got tape on you or not. He probably saw that as a reason to blitz even more. Like, oh, this is a young boy making his first career postseason start and his second career NFL start as a whole. Oh, I'm blitzing the draws off this young fella, and we see how he handles it. He handled it pretty damn well. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Alex Kurz, thank you for the super chat and doubling up. Double up. Greatly appreciate you, Alex Kurz, who writes, this is how I feel. Love seeing Cam's yard production and Stevens' toe drag swag ×2 opportunities because someone could distribute the football. I loved it too. How about that touchdown throw to Steven Sims? Are you serious? Backpedaling? That's some Patrick Mahomes type of stuff right there. That's what Josh Allen is doing. Backpedaling as pressure is in his face and dropping a dime in the corner of the end zone. Like, I got chills watching that one. Like, I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. I didn't want to say this because I don't like saying crazy, reckless stuff out of my mouth because fans, they go nuts with some of this stuff. Some of the plays he made tonight are elite quarterback plays. Like, only a handful of the guys in the league can make that kind of play. Seriously, I'm not BSing you here. The touchdown run, only a select few quarterbacks in the league can do that. It ain't many guys in the league that's doing that on that touchdown run. That's some real shit. The touchdown throw to Steven Sims in the corner of the end zone against pressure, backpedaling. Again, only like 5-6 dudes in the league can even try to attempt that throw. That's on some real shit. I haven't seen elite type of throws and plays like that in Washington in forever. Forever. I mean, take it for whatever it's worth. I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. It's amazing how this offense looks. Everybody wants to kill Scott Turner. It's amazing how the offense looks so wide open when you get a guy that knows the scheme and is able to distribute the football. I'm just saying. It's amazing how the offense looks. I've been telling y'all all year, hey, dudes are open. It's stuff down the field open. Ain't nobody getting it to him. You saw what it's supposed to look like. I told you when Kyle Allen first took over, I said, this is what the offense is supposed to look like. Again, I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Let's see. Got another super chat. This one is from DCJ. 10th super chat of the night. Really appreciate you, DCJ, who writes, Fournette killed us in certain moments. He did. Let's check his numbers. I'd be shocked if he didn't rush for 100 yards by himself. And that's disheartening to give it up to Leonard Fournette. 19 carries, 93 yards. Just on the cusp of 100 yards rushing. Really disappointed in the fact that we gave it up like that to Leonard Fournette. Never thought he would hurt us like that. The fact that Ronald Jones wasn't playing, I thought that was a big get for us. I'm like, man, everything's lining up for us. No Ronald Jones. No, what's the name of the linebacker's name? Devin White. No Devin White. Banged up Mike Evans, but I told you he was going to play, and he kicked our ass 6 for 119. But I still felt like, and we had drops. We got all the breaks that we needed. I said, if you're going to beat Brady, we got to get pressure, and then we got to get some of the stuff that the teams that beat Tom Brady in the playoffs get. Drops, missed opportunities, a throw when he overthrows a guy. Like he overthrew Mike Evans on a deep ball and he had him. Like that's the kind of stuff you need. We got those things. But we didn't get stops on third downs. We didn't stop the run effectively enough. So you get beat. Alerts of Orthanic, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Alerts of Orthanic writes, y'all made it a game more than Seattle versus a broke thumb. But that Rams defense is legit. That's what we were hoping to get. One of those types of performances. We didn't get that. Unfortunately, we didn't get that. Chauncey Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My man Chauncey with his 5th super chat of the night. Really appreciate you. Chauncey writes, Lou, I remember what your definition of disappointment is, and I'm not that tonight. I enjoyed watching this team play. I wasn't disappointed in the team. I was disappointed in the defense. Really disappointed in the defense because I thought we were getting an effort that would give us a chance. I didn't feel like we got an effort from the defense that gave us a chance tonight. There was one, and it's easier said than done. It's Tom Brady. I get it. But there was one thing you had to do. You had to do this. No ifs, ands, or buts. You don't do this, we have a problem. You knew that going into the game, and that was get pressure on Tom Brady. We didn't get enough pressure on Tom Brady. We sacked him 3 times. But we didn't hit him enough. Too many times. Brady's going through his reads, and he's getting to his 4th and 5th read on the play. No pressure whatsoever. He shouldn't have time to get all the way to his 4th read, but he did tonight because there wasn't enough pressure. So, yeah, I'm disappointed in the defense. I'm not disappointed in the team. I told you nothing about the team's performance tonight was disappointing as a whole. I was disappointed in one unit in particular, and that was the defense. DCJ, really appreciate you. 11th super chat of the night. We here now. Writes that Sims drop first quarter was a killer. Changed the game. It was. I can't deny that. That again. You get a stop against the Buccaneers offense, force them to kick a field goal, and you're anxious to see what the offense is going to do. And Heineke throws on the first play of the game, throws a beautiful deep ball. Well, not the first play of the game, second play, because the first play was a run to Antonio Gibson that they stopped for a 4-yard loss. And he comes right back, unfazed, unflappable, throws a dime down the middle of the field, and Cam Sims drops it. That hurts. You want to beat the Bucs? I said 2 things. Can't turn it over, and you got to finish drives with touchdowns. And we didn't finish one of those drives with a touchdown when he had Logan Thomas open and he threw a Dwayne Haskins special, and we threw an interception. And we got it back with a forced fumble, but you can't keep giving Brady opportunities. Not going to win that way. Got another super chat from DCJ, 12th of the night, killing the game. Really appreciate you, DCJ, who writes, Pass D overall played good, but no INTs, not physical. The pass defense wasn't good overall. It was average at best. It wasn't terrible. It could have been a lot worse. Trust me. And it should have been a lot worse if not for some of those drops. It would have been a lot worse. Brady would have threw for over 400, well over 400. And they might have scored more points. That's not our prerogative. That's not our problem. We didn't get any pressure on Brady, so I didn't expect the back end to hold up. Again, there's just too many weapons. It's not like they got 2 or 3 guys. They got 5 legitimate receivers that can hurt you at any time when you throw in the tight end position. 6, if you count both their tight ends, because Brake really hurt us tonight. Gronk really, I don't know if Gronk even had a catch. It was Cameron Brake that did work on us. But they got Antonio Brown. They got Scotty Miller. They got Mike Evans. They got Chris Godwin. There were too many weapons for that secondary to cover if you didn't get to Brady. And we didn't. Mark McKnight, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Mark McKnight writes, hey, Lou, proud of the guys. We should have picked up Brown and Fournette. I didn't want any parts of Brown. Still don't. Fournette, I was interested in when he was released. I didn't know if he was a great fit here or not. Didn't hear great things from him leaving Jacksonville. I mean, the fact that Jacksonville thought that it was a good idea to release him, knowing he was really all their offense a year ago, told you all you really needed to know about what kind of a person they felt like he was in that locker room. So I wasn't sure he fit what we were trying to do from a culture standpoint. But if you're talking about talent, he would have been an upgrade over, say, Peyton Barber. But, you know, Peyton Barber served a purpose this year, so I don't have a Peyton Barber problem. Martin Matthews, thank you for tripling up. Greatly appreciate you. My man Double M, Martin Matthews, writes, hey, Louie, do you think Coach saw that Fuller is one hell of a zone corner but not a one-on-one corner? I don't know. You know, personally, I like my Kendall Fuller in the slot. Now, he hasn't played in the slot since he's been back here, and there's been times where he's been lights out wide. But the best of Kendall Fuller for us, if you go back to the first time we had him, was in the slot. I always felt like there was something missing with Kendall Fuller out wide as a boundary corner. I don't feel like he looks back for the ball enough. I do think he can run, but I think sometimes he's too often soft. I just like my Kendall Fuller in the slot. So, for whatever it's worth, I don't think they're going to play him in the slot. I think they're going to play him out wide, and that's fine. He got beat. He gets beat in off coverage and in zone. He gets beat in man. He just got beat. He just got beat. And it happens. Carlton Pagano Jackson, thank you for the super chat and doubling up. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, CPJ. Greatly appreciate you. Yeah, we gave up too much on the run game. We'll figure that out this offseason. Thanks for the season, Lou. Love you, Mob Squad. Hashtag MOBB. Thank you for the super chat, CPJ. We have way too many yards on the ground. And some of that up front, defensive linemen, some of it the linebackers. You know, film will tell the story. We'll check out the film and see exactly what transpired and why there were so many big gaping holes in the middle of our defense tonight. Keith Smith, thank you for doubling up. Double up. Greatly appreciate you, Keith Smith. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, Cam is a legit number 3. We got to keep him. Good season. I agree. I told you, I don't have any problems with Cam Sims as a third option. No more than that, though. He's not a number 2. I think he's proven that this season that he's not a third option. He's a really, really quality number 3, though. And, you know, we got a lot of unknowns. So many unknowns at receiver. We don't know what Kelvin Harmon is. We don't know what AGG is. We have no idea what those guys are. For all intents and purposes, even though Kelvin Harmon's going into his 3rd year technically, he's a 2nd-year player next year. AGG, same thing. Technically speaking, if you want to be brutally honest, he's probably a rookie all over again. The only difference is he won't be wide-eyed and shell-shocked by the NFL. He will have had a season under his belt from, you know, the rigors of the game, you know, studying film, practice, that sort of thing. But in terms of actually going out on the field and producing, he's a rookie next year. He did nothing this year, you know? So we have no idea what we have at receiver, to be honest with you. All we know is that we want to add another guy. That's all we know. But for all we know, we could have our number 2 receiver already on the roster. And he just hasn't shown himself to be that yet. So it should, just like with Taylor Heineke, I still don't think it stops them from going out and doing something next year in the this upcoming offseason. I don't. So we'll see what happens. DCJ, thank you for your 13th super chat of the night. We here. DCJ writes, my opinion, Sims catches that first pass in stride. He didn't need to dive. take another step, and that's a touchdown or at least a field goal drop. But again, hand clap for Taylor Heineke. For Taylor Heineke, indeed. And I'm with you. He didn't need to jump. He didn't need to dive. Just run through it. He wouldn't have scored. He's not fast enough to score. But as you mentioned, it's a scoring drive. It's exactly what the doctor ordered to respond to the Buccaneers' opening drive to net them a field goal. Match their field goal with nothing worse than a field goal. Would have been great. Got to help your young quarterback out. He making his first postseason start, his second career NFL start. Help him out. This is the same thing they did to him when he came in against Carolina. He made all these great throws and guys didn't help him. Got another super chat from Fat American. Thank you for the super chat, Fat American, who writes, you think Matty Ice vastly improves this D-line, or do we need another playmaker for the interior defensive line? Do we also draft a middle linebacker, anyone in free agency? Matt Ioannidis definitely improves this defensive line, especially from a pass rushing standpoint. As far as getting another playmaker for the interior defensive line, I don't think that's something they're going to be looking to do necessarily early. If a guy that they like falls into their lap late, I don't doubt that they would do that, especially knowing that Tim Settle is going to be a free agent next year. I think that they will be looking to draft someone maybe to help fill that void that will be left by Settle eventually. That wouldn't shock me, but I don't see them being aggressive. We don't need to be aggressive on the defensive line right now at all. And then as far as drafting the middle linebacker, I think that is something that should be high on the priority list. Either getting one in free agency or drafting one. I talked about Jayon Brown as a guy that I was interested in from the Tennessee Titans. He got injured, but if they can find a young guy, I prefer to just get one in the draft personally. But at the end of the day, we definitely need to upgrade the inside linebacker position. I don't think that's a question after. And I'm going to watch the film, but I guarantee you a lot of their runs came because we weren't aggressive. We've seen that this year from John Bostic. And it's not just Bostic. You know, sometimes it's Cole Holcomb. Sometimes it might have been Michael Kendricks tonight. He played a ton. You know, sometimes we're just not aggressive. And a lot of times Bostic isn't aggressive. And guys get to the second level to him. And that's why you see those gaping holes up the middle of the football field. So we'll see what they decide to do. Burgundy Soldier. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Burgundy Soldier writes, do you think Dan has full trust in Ron? Meaning, do you think there will be another Haskins draft situation, stupid free agent move, etc.? I'm all one. He says, I'm all in. I am, for one, all in. Personally, I do think he trusts Ron. I can't guarantee you that his trust in Ron will stop him from doing something stupid in free agency, or not even free agency, but the draft, if he gets fixated on a guy. But I do think that this kind of feels different. Personally, I think it feels like Ron does have full autonomy to do whatever he feels like is for the good of the team. So I don't anticipate this being a situation that, you know, that Dan steps into and tries to do something, but you never know. You'd like to say, but you just never know. You really can't say. I personally don't think that this is a situation that Dan would step in and do anything foolish, but there's a track record already there established of Dan not learning his lesson. So why would this time be any different? We just have to wait and see, I guess. Alex Kurz, thank you for tripling up. Greatly appreciate you. My man Alex Kurz writes, copped a new vinyl of Marvin's Game. #1 hits. Playing that with a bottle of red. My tradition at the end of every season. Love that you said For All We Know. Most beautiful song by Donny Hathaway. Most people in the comment section don't even know who you are talking about right now. Take a sip of that red for me, though. And just let it play, man. Just let it play. Appreciate you, Alex. Sounds really relaxing, actually. I might do the same after I get out of here. Martin Matthews, my man, Double M. Thank you for, I think this is your 4th of the night, if I'm not mistaken. Really appreciate you, Double M, who writes, "Hey, Louie, this was my first time watching your broadcast. This is the last show, and if so, when do you start again? Around draft time? I love your show, and take care of yourself, big dog." I ain't going anywhere, Martin. I'm going to still be here. So is this the end of Washington Football Nightly? We'll have one show to wrap it all up on Monday. And then that will be the end of Washington Football Nightly for the season. So yes, that will be done. But we'll still have the Washington Washington Football Report. And we'll still be going live on Thursday nights, kind of keeping up with what's going on with the team and talking about various topics. And yeah, the draft is here. The draft is never ending. The NFL really is never ending. So I'll be around. I'm not going anywhere. But as far as like Washington Football Nightly and getting a program every night, yeah, that's done. After Monday night, we'll put a bow on the season. What a successful season it was for year one and Ron Rivera in Washington. So I appreciate you, Double M. Really do. Got another one here from Fat American. Double up. Greatly appreciate you, Fat American, who writes, thank you for doubling up, by the way. Also, fans seem to be pretty optimistic after this season. Do you think, if the plan sticks, that our stadium will be packed with red again next year? You know, that's one of the more interesting things, is that we needed a year away from the fans being in the stadium to allow Ron to do what he did this season. Because now I think there is hope. There is a renewed interest in this team. And I do think people feel like generally, you know, we're moving in the right direction. And this is something that now that you've changed the name, for some people that was, you know, a problem. For others, that was a reason that they were still fans of this team, because everything else around them they felt like was crumbling, but at least they had attachment to the name. Well, even now, if you weren't a huge fan of the name change, this is still something you feel like you can get behind. And with that, I think you get a lot of fans back. And so I'm anxious to see what the first home game next season looks like. That is a really fascinating question, because I don't know the answer to that. But I know I felt like just doing this, more fans came back this year than in any year previous. I felt like a lot of people that had quit, that were done with the team, they felt a renewed sense of hope. And so I'm anxious to see if this translates into ticket sales and butts and seats, fans and stands that wear the burgundy and gold at home. So that's a fascinating question, Fat American. Don't know the answer, but I'm dying to find out. DCJ, thank you for your 14th super chat of the night. Greatly appreciate you. DCJ writes, my birthday week, I'm sick. Washington football team is out, but Saints is my second team, going back to the A. Brooks days. Washington football team, my opinion, overall team is legit already, just needs a quarterback. We're getting there. We're getting there. I don't think we're just a quarterback away yet, but we're getting there slowly but surely. Got another super chat here from Fat American. Thank you for tripling up, Fat American. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, red meaning our fans, not other fans, FYI. I knew exactly what you were saying. I knew what that meant. And that's why I said what I said. So I knew what you were saying. I appreciate you clarifying that, but I knew what you were talking about. That's an interesting question. And I want to see how many fans with this. It was still 7-9. It wasn't 9-7 or 10-6. It was 7-9. But how many fans with this performance? And really, the thing that I talked about all season long was the fact that this team fought. And that's why I was so confident that they were going to fight tonight. And they did. And Ron said the one thing we have as an identity right now is that we fight. They fought again tonight. So will that be enough to bring people back that weren't really on board before Ron Rivera was hired and before this season? We'll see. Should be really fascinating stuff. All right. Got another super chat here. Shannon, this one is from Shannon Sharp. Thank you for the super chat. Shannon Sharp writes, "What's up, Louie? How would you feel about signing Dak?" I wouldn't have a problem with it. I personally don't want to invest that kind of money into the quarterback position right now, per se. I wouldn't be opposed to investing that kind of bread into the quarterback position down the road if we were to draft a guy and he proves himself here. But as far as I'm concerned, I really don't want to invest that kind of money into the quarterback position. That being said, if they pegged Dak as a guy that they feel like they can build around and win ball games with moving forward, I wouldn't have any problems with that. But I'm personally, myself, don't want to invest that kind of money into the quarterback position right now. Not really looking to do that. I really would prefer that they re-sign all of their items. You know, and over the next 3 years, you're going to have to re-sign guys like Jonathan Allen, Daron Payne, Montez Sweat, and Terry McLaurin over the next 3 years. And Brandon Sheriff this offseason as well. And, you know, you already re-signed Chase Rouillet, and you're going to have to re-sign Cam Sims if you want him back. You're going to have to re-sign Logan Thomas after next year if you want him back. J.D. McKissick, a bunch of guys that you're going to have to – and not all these guys are going to command massive deals, but the ones on the defensive line, particularly, you know, Chase Young and Montez Sweat, are going to be pricey deals if you want to keep those guys. And you're not going to be able to keep everybody. I'm aware. But if you sign a quarterback right now, you're definitely not going to be able to keep everyone. So, and it's a, you know, damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation, because on one hand, if you really feel like this team is ready to compete now, then going and getting a veteran helps you right now. And you've got a window with this defense. And if you add some more parts, you got a window with the defense right now. But Ron, I think I got a sense of what Ron's thinking in that regard from a time frame standpoint. He didn't come here for a quick fix. You know, he came here thinking that 3 years I should have these guys, you know, contending for something meaningful. You know, 3 years is what I think he was thinking. You know, year one, figure out what we have. You know, we'll bring in some guys on some relatively cheap deals. See if they can, you know, do some things, i.e. Logan Thomas, J.D. McKissick, Cornelius Lucas, Wes Schweitzer, you know, those types of guys, Ronald Darby. See what they can bring to the table. KPL, those guys came in, they played well. You already know what you have now that you've been here a year. You know what you got in Brandon Sheriff. You know what you got in Morgan Moses. You know what you have in Terry McLaurin. You know what you have in Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne and Montez Sweat and Chase Young, Cole Holcomb. You know what these guys are now. So you're happy about that. They are as advertised. So now I think he's saying, well, we overachieved in year one. We didn't expect to win the division and host a playoff game, but we did. But I don't think he's going to now all of a sudden veer course and try to now just push all his chips to the middle of the table. Because to me, signing a guy like Dak Prescott or trading for a Matthew Stafford or a Matt Ryan is you pushing all your chips to the center of the table. And I don't want to end up like the Las Vegas Raiders with Khalil Mack. When it comes time to sign your guy, you don't have the bread to do it. So, I don't know. Personally, I want a homegrown quarterback. I want my own guy. No, nobody else's guy. I want my own guy. That's what I want. And if my own guy is Taylor Heineke, cool. He's my guy. He's young. He's still got a lot of football left. My guy. I want my guy. If my guy might not be on the roster right now, he might still be in college. So Dak is cool. I don't personally want them to do that, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. I think Dak's a good football player. So I wouldn't have a problem with it. Got another super chat. This one is from DCJ. Thank you for your 15th super chat of the night. Greatly appreciate you, DCJ, who writes, close it out to remind us NFC East champs 2020. Of course I'm going to do that. I'm not going to forget to do that before we get out of here. Don't you worry. Fat American, thank you for your 4th super chat of the night. Greatly appreciate you, Fat American, who writes, my opinion, Ron swept the Cowboys, swept the Eagles, won the division, and hosted a playoff game in his first season, has the team fighting, defensive turnaround. I can go on and on. I think FedEx Field will make some noise and will be nice. I hope you're right. There was a lot of damage done to this fan base over the life of the Bruce Allen administration. And they lost a lot of fans, man. You know, FedEx Field became a joke. Became a punchline. Every week. You know what? It was actually a relief this year not to have to worry how the next opponent was going to take over the stadium this week. It was actually refreshing to not have to worry about that. Just play ball. We'll see if this restores hope in the fan base and they're willing to come out. We'll see. There's a lot that you listed a lot of things and you said you could go on, and there are other things that Ron has done in year one that should restore hope, but you can't be too sure that everyone feels that way. Got another super chat. This one is from Fat American as well. Can't see you. 5th of the night. Really appreciate you, Fat American, who writes, I apologize for my premature optimism for next year, but I am stoked for next year, especially if fans are allowed to attend. Haven't been this excited since 2005/2007 seasons in Gibbs 2.0 when we had those late season runs and made it to the postseason. Much more excited after 05 than 07 because remember, after the 07 season, Joe retired. So there wasn't as much optimism because I thought we were going to hire Greg Williams. We didn't. The rest is history. Yada, yada, yada. Anyway, I digress. Bottom line is, I look at this team. I look at this coaching staff. I look at this organization as a whole. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. It feels like we're moving in the right direction. This is going to be a big offseason because what is Ron going to do in the front office? Is he going to shake things up? Is he going to bring a GM in from the outside? Feels like he is. We don't know the answer to that. If he does, what does that mean for Kyle Smith? Does he leave? Does he stay? What kind of input will he have if he does stay? We don't know. We finally feel like we can trust a guy with personnel decisions, and yet we might bring somebody else in here that we don't know we can trust. Ron feels like he may be able to trust that guy, but I don't know if I can trust that guy here. So at the end of the day, there's a decision to be made in the front office. There's a decision to be made among the roster. Do you re-sign Brandon Sheriff? Do you re-sign Jonathan Allen? Even though his contract's not up, you want to get these things done now. Do you bring back Cam Sims? Do you bring back Ronald Darby? Do you bring back all of these guys that are going to be up? What do you do? Who do you add? Do you add a veteran wide receiver? Do you add a veteran linebacker? Do you get that in the draft? So many unknowns. It's just exciting. It's exciting because you feel like we're building something of substance. Finally, for the first time in a long time. So, really, really, really excited about that. Got another super chat here from Fat American, 6th of the night. We windshield wiping. Really appreciate you. Fat American writes, in all fairness, Zorn did have us start 6-2 in his first season in '08. You're right, he did. And then the Steelers came to FedEx Field, took over the stadium, hurt Jason Campbell, and nothing was ever the same. But you're right. I remember that season very vividly. You know, early season wins over the Eagles in Dallas made you think, shit, maybe we got something here. That was a mirage. It was a mirage. So, anyway, that is going to do it for me, your man, Louie T. I really, really appreciate you guys on this journey this season. It's been fun. Really wish it wasn't ending, but it was a hell of a ride. But I'd already reconciled in my mind that this is where the ride was probably going to end, right here tonight against these Buccaneers. It's a good football team. You know, you'd be sick to your stomach if you didn't get this chance by losing to the Eagles in Week 17. But we didn't. We won that game, and we got this opportunity, and we didn't waste it. We didn't squander it. We showed well. And I even had my uncle, who's a Chiefs fan, send me a text message tonight during the game and say, "It looks like you found your quarterback." I don't think we found our quarterback at all. But I can tell you this. I'm intrigued. I want to see more. I knew he was capable of this. I told you I watched him at ODU. So I knew what he was capable of. I just didn't know he was capable of that at this level. He never was really given a chance. So I just assumed that everywhere he had been, he wasn't good enough. We're going to see. Because Taylor Heineke balled tonight. And he opened some eyes. And I'm pretty sure when I call my dad, he's going to say, "Y'all got y'all something there." And I'm pretty sure when I talk to one of my buds, he's going to be like, "Hey, man, Taylor looked good." And he's an ODU alum as well. He's going to say, "Hey, Taylor looked good, man." Everybody's pulling for him. So we'll see what happens. But he knows the offense. Scott Turner's offense like the back of his hand. And I will be honest with you. Of all three quarterbacks that we really looked at and said they can run this offense competently, Kyle Allen, Alex Smith, and Taylor Heineke, nobody ran this offense better than Taylor Heineke. I assure you of that. Anyway, that's going to do it for me, your man, Louie T. I thank you guys for joining me tonight. This was, it was bittersweet, but I think we all felt good about leaving this game the way that we did, you know? So the Buccaneers advance in the postseason 31-23 over Washington. That's a good football team over there. They got Tom Brady. This is why they went out and got Tom Brady for this time of the year right here. And he showed you why he is the GOAT. 381 yards passing, 22 of 41, 2 touchdowns. Could have been a lot worse if guys would have caught the football. So Brady was on his shit tonight. And unfortunately, defensively, we were not. And that ultimately is why we lost this football game. I did not think I was going to say that. I thought it was going to be because we couldn't score enough. We couldn't generate enough offense. The offense actually saved us because think about, I said we were 7 of 14 on third downs. Think about this. If we were going 3 and out, if we were punting the football with the way the defense was playing tonight, they would have scored 40. Easily scored 40. With the way the defense was playing tonight, let me repeat that one more time. They would have scored 40 if the offense wasn't sustaining itself. The offense's ability to move the football, pick up third downs, and possess the football stopped us from getting embarrassed in this game. Didn't think I would say that, but I did. Anyway, I'm going to go out to the side, get out of here. I really appreciate you guys. If you haven't already done so, what are you waiting on? Subscribe to the Louie T Network for more great content. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Again, we're going to switch to the draft. Obviously, we're going to continue to break down all things NFL and the rest of this postseason. I'm not done. Got 3 games tomorrow in Wildcard weekend. We'll be live after each and every single one of those. And then we'll turn our attention to the draft. That's what we do here on the Louie T Network, and we're going to go full steam ahead into the draft. Bart Scott. Can't wait. But just in case some of you out there have forgotten, just because we lost tonight doesn't change the fact the champs ahead. The champs ahead. 2020 NFC East champions live here. Washington football team. Hell of a season. It's over. But we got some things done. And the future looks very bright for this organization as they head into the first offseason. The true first offseason of Ron Rivera and company. So, that's it for me. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. We'll be back tomorrow. 3 more Wildcard weekend games. Should be a lot of fun. I'll see you guys then. Enjoy the rest of the night. And have a good one. And thanks for one hell of a year. Just in case I don't see you guys and you don't come back, thanks for one hell of a season. It's been a ton of fun. And can't wait to do it again. See you next time.